This is the GoPro Hero 13 attached to its media mod, and this camera has a big problem when it's attached to the media mod like this. And this is the GoPro Mission 1 Pro attached to its brand new media mod, and we're going to see if this media mod solves one of the biggest problems that GoPro ever had. So sit back, relax, and enjoy. This is DemonView's review of the new GoPro Mission 1 Pro media mod. Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. I do appreciate you tuning in, and we're going to talk about one of the biggest problems that the media mod had on the GoPro Hero 13 and versus this new media mod for the Mission 1 Pro, which is a bit of a different animal. So one of the biggest problems that the media mods had was, let's say you're filming with this on a nice little tripod and you're using this configuration and you want to change the battery. Well, you can't just pop open the door like so and remove the camera, because the feet are coming down through the camera attaching to the mount. You actually have to unscrew the thing here like so. Take the screw out, make sure you don't drop anything, then fold the fingers up, then open the door, then take the camera out, swap out the battery, put it back in again, close the door, make sure you fold the fingers back out again. Then make sure you put it in here the right way, since there's like a little gap here to put the screw in. Make sure you can screw it in properly, tighten it all back up, and well, that's rather time consuming, isn't it? And that was a problem that the GoPro had. So in all fairness, and I will be fair about this, GoPro did kind of like speed up the process later on when they brought out their new magnetic mounting system, because then you didn't have to use the fingers. You could just, where's my spare mount? You know, use one of these and just pop it in here like that. And then to actually remove it and change the battery, you just use the release and then pop it open. Still a bit time consuming, and there was a problem with that. You see, these fingers here are part of the GoPro's cooling system, so it works better when the fingers are extended. So yeah, that was a problem that GoPro had with their original media mod. I say original, that's actually version 2. The original came with the GoPro Hero 8, much smaller. However, this is the brand new Mission 1 series media mod, and there's a few differences that we'll explore later on, but first of all, does this solve a problem that GoPro have? Well, yes. Watch this. Here's how quickly it is to change battery, or even change out your SD card with this new media mod. Let's take a look. Ready? Pop it open. Slide the camera out. That's it. Now you can swap out batteries, put it back in, close the door. There we go. Problem solved. And that's simply because the new media mod has its own built-in mounting system at the bottom. It actually has its own fold-out fingers too, like so, if you want to use the older ones, or if you just want to use your new magnetic mounting system, just pop it in and there we go. Now, the thing is that that's actually pretty quick, and because the Mission 1 Pro runs much cooler thanks to the GP3 chip, you don't need those fingers extended to keep the camera cool either. So now that we've gone and solved that problem, thank you GoPro, let's take a look at how this media mod differs from the previous version. So you turn it on, and the very first thing you'll notice is that if you've just got this, it'll actually have a message saying updating media mod. And that's because the latest firmware on the GoPro actually has an update for the media mod to enable all the features on it. That's pretty cool. So we're going to leave that updating and see how long it takes. As you can see, it's still updating, and you might notice that this camera is kind of noisy. It's because it's an older camera. It's a 1080p camera. And we're going to be probably swapping that up a bit, because my main camera is a 4K camera. With a big 1-inch sensor. This is an older 1080p camera, but this new update that the GoPro has actually enables you to have 4K 60 frames per second video out over USB-C to HDMI. So we're going to be testing that out later on in an upcoming video to see how we can use this as a webcam and how it compares to my very expensive $400 webcam. Okay, now if you're wondering how to access the audio controls on this, you just swipe across here, swipe one more time, and there you see that we have your controls here. And right now it's saying that we're using the media mod mics. Audio meter is on, the gain is GoPro, and the mic pickup is cardioid. And you can switch those and it gives you a little graphic example to show you how it's going to be picked up. Now, you do have a option here for track 2, and if you have an external microphone plugged in, or if you have a Bluetooth mic attached, basically this will enable track 2, and you'll get like 2 tracks recording on your GoPro. On the media mod there, you've got an audio mixer. You can turn it on or off. You've got gain control, you've got GoPro, and basically that's like a sound profile that GoPro have created that's supposed to be optimized for audio recording. You've automatic gain control, which basically means that the camera volume will automatically adjust based on whether things are too quiet or too loud. And then you've got manual, in which case you can select the decibel level that you want to increase or decrease the sound by, which is pretty handy. I'm going to stick with GoPro for now. Limiting, then you can turn on or off if it's automatic. And finally, you've got the different mic pickup patterns, and you've got the usual cardioid, rear cardioid, bidirectional, omnidirectional, focus stereo, natural stereo, immersive stereo, or variable stereo. And we'll take a look at those options later on and see how they affect the sound quality. Now, if we remove the dead cat, and this thing clips on fairly well, so I don't think this is going to be as easy to pop off as it was on the previous one. On the previous one, if you had this like on a backpack strap or something, just a slight knock and your foam pad could easily just kind of detach. This one seems to be a lot sturdier. I haven't attached it fully here just for the sake of this. You've got 3 microphones total, and your patterns are going to basically say which one of these has the most gain, or maybe they all do. There is a right way to put this on, a wrong way. As you might be able to see, is a very faint GoPro logo and a big hollow bit at the front. The GoPro logo goes towards the front, and the space here goes towards the back, because on the back here we have some more options. We have a 3.5 millimeter microphone in. We also have a linear time code in, and if you're using one of those more expensive microphone systems, you can actually plug that in here. We have a headset monitor here, which is also going to be 3.5 millimeter. We have then our little micro HDMI out, which gives you 4K 60 frames per second out. And then finally we've got USB-C, which you can use for file transfer or power. Then we have the usual cold shoe on the top, cold shoe on the side. We have mounting fingers down the bottom that will fold out like that, and it's also fully compatible with the magnetic system. So that's pretty handy. And then, like I said, this dead cat just clips on, and it clips on rather securely. Like if I pop that on, it's actually quite hard to remove. It takes a good bit of force to remove. It's got a big wide clip on either side, so that is fairly handy, but it pops on fairly easily. So I'm glad to see that. And these little rubber covers here are going to keep dust and dirt out of it. As you can see, I've got a GoPro lens cover here for my camera, and that actually came with the ND filter kit. So that's something to keep in mind too. If you want to protect your lens cover, just like slap one of these on it. So the only thing left to do at this stage is let's bring this for an audio test and see how it works out. Okay, so here we are outdoors with the GoPro Hero 13, and this is what it sounds like when we're using the camera microphones. So let's switch over to the Hero 13's media mod to see what that sounds like. And this is the Hero 13 using the media mod microphones. Now, I often say that the whole point of the media mod isn't that you get like better audio from it. In fact, the audio might sound a bit tinny and lacking bass. It's basically so that if you're in a windy environment, a crowd environment, or a noisy environment, that you actually pick up hearable, usable audio. Now, there's a lot of traffic noise around here, and there's also a military ship parked behind me with its generators going. So it's kind of loud out here. But next up, we're going to see how the Mission 1 Pro handles things. And here we are with the Mission 1 Pro, and we're using automatic gain control on this, and we're using the very first cardioid kind of pattern here. So now let's switch to the next one. And this would be the rear cardioid pattern, and that would obviously take more noise from behind the camera, so therefore you might not hear as clearly what I'm saying now. And this is the variable stereo pattern, so hopefully if I move from side to side, maybe that will make a difference in what you're actually hearing. And this is the bidirectional audio, so hopefully that means that it's kind of like a balance between front and rear microphones, I'm guessing. And then we have omnidirectional, and that should be picking up noises from all around, including that rather noisy bird that just started squawking. Focused stereo. I have absolutely no idea what that does, but hopefully it improved your focus while you listened. And this one is natural stereo, and I just kind of assume that means that it's kind of like less separated, more of kind of a compressed kind of together, almost like a mono track almost, but you know, basically it's not having something really kind of left or right balanced, just more centered. Probably more pleasant to listen to. And then finally we have immersive stereo, and I'm hoping that's kind of like one of those things where it really does kind of separate the tracks. So maybe you can actually hear if I do move about, whether it makes a type of any difference in your headsets or anything when you're listening. And hey, why don't you let me know which one of these audio tests you thought sound best? So just bear in mind that this wasn't a test about the picture quality or how I need to clean the rail behind me. This was just a test of the audio qualities of the new GoPro media mod for the Mission 1 series. Now I do have the dead cat installed on that. The ship behind me just seems to have increased in volume, so that's kind of annoying. But I did want to actually test this in a more noisy type of environment. There's a plane passing overhead, that ship just got noisier, there's a tiny bit of wind, and all the birds seem to have just decided to go mental. So hopefully you found something interesting in that. And before I go, I'm going to do one more test, and that's with the new microphone system from the GoPro. So the first thing we're going to do is test this out in Bluetooth mode. Now this is very interesting. On the screen of the GoPro, gosh, you know what, I should probably grab a little photograph of this for you. There's actually two sound indicators. The one on the left is actually from the media mod, and I hope the phone isn't blocking it. And the one on the right, you can see the little Bluetooth symbol, and that's for the Bluetooth microphone, because right now I'm actually recording the audio via Bluetooth. So yeah, this is the Bluetooth connection to the GoPro, and this uses super wideband audio. There's a very loud motorcycle going up the road there. Hopefully you can't make that out. Now the thing is, like I said, there's two audio tracks. So one is coming from the actual media mod itself, and the second audio track is coming from the Bluetooth microphone. And that means that, you know, let's say you don't hear that motorbike in the background and I'm trying to explain how noisy it is. If I was just using the Bluetooth alone, you know, you just have to take my word for it about how noisy it is. However, since I'm actually recording with the camera mics too, I can actually fade in and out in those tracks later on, so that makes it pretty handy. But what if we connect it with really, really high quality using the actual receiver? Well, let's give it a go and see how it sounds. And now after I set that up, my volume indicators have changed again. Let me grab another quick video for you. Yeah, this is real professional here, grabbing a video of a video. But if you look at the display now, I actually have the media mod on the right hand side and this wireless mic on the left hand side. And it's a pretty functional display. Now remember, I don't have the display up full. I actually have it about 10% brightness. So it looks darker than it actually would be outdoors. But you get the idea. You can actually see the media mod volume levels on the right hand side and the wireless microphone system on the left hand side. Now, connected, this is supposed to use like the full audio quality of the wireless connection, and it's connected via the 3.5 millimeter TRS line in. I don't know if you could actually attach it via USB-C or if that's only going to be for charging, but hey, this is what it sounds like, and I think it sounds pretty darn good. But yeah, it's one of those things that if you're having two people being interviewed in a noisy environment, you definitely do want to use the wireless microphone system. Having said that, if you are just like kind of by yourself or you want the camera to remain 100% waterproof, I do think the Bluetooth audio is actually good enough to be used. Compared to using something like the DJI mic, which uses HFP 1.7, that's kind of like acceptable audio. You could use for pickup shots, but I wouldn't want to use it all the time. Having said that, the Bluetooth audio using the HFP 1.9 on the GoPro mic system with the Mission 1 camera system sounds absolutely fantastic. I would create a whole video using that. I'm hoping this setup using the RX and TX units actually sounds even better again. Like I said, today was a bit of a noisy day with some slight wind, lots of traffic noise and a noisy boat behind me, but hopefully this gives you a good idea of what the audio capabilities of the Mission 1 Pro with its new media mod and the wireless microphone system is like. So I really appreciate you watching. I hope you found this video useful, and hey, tune in again. And until next time, cheerio. And hey, if you want to be fashionable like I am and get yourself one of these DemonView t-shirts, make sure you check out the Printify shop in the description. Has got some stuff there that is worth checking out. So if you want to look good, feel good, and be the envy of all your friends, go buy a t-shirt and support DemonView.com. Until next time, cheerio. I even have the original little magnet wrapped in its white paper. Wow. And I really hate creators who hold the microphones in their hands like this, because it just makes it look like you don't know how to use a microphone. So please, creators, stop doing this. You look ridiculous. And this microphone's so small, it looks even more ridiculouser. GoPro, stop recording.